By this everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. That is in John 13:5. And with counseling, that is one of the ways that you are able to love one another, is by stepping in for somebody when they are down. So for you, if you've ever had anything that's happened to you where you just don't know how to handle it, you are struggling, and you have maybe at this point in life, you haven't learned the tools that are necessary to overcome the struggle. That's where a counselor steps in. It is their job to be your advocate, to be by your side, and to help you get through those things. I've been taking classes now for a little bit over a year, and in that time I've watched hours of lecture videos with seasoned professionals that have taught me the right way to do counseling, as well as shown some practical tips for helping people get through specific struggles. And so I'm going to discuss the different job fields in that area, as well as how I am now sure that this is the job for me. Counseling, even though it has so many different forms, is still one of the fields that is seen as this situation where you go to seek it, and even though it's in the medical field, people think that you are now broken, that they would rather have somebody who doesn't go to counseling, even though they might have the same problem as you. So I want to discuss some of those stigmas and kind of how they come out practically, and also how the Bible kind of speaks on the job of counseling, and kind of go in a little bit more specifically on marriage and family therapy. So first, there's a deep-rooted stigma that when you go to counseling, you are crazy, is really what people think. And there was actually a study done by Vogel, Wade, and Hackler that surveyed people in their perspectives of people who go to counseling are seen as an outsider. They are now less wanted than those who wouldn't go seek it. And that is whether or not you have a true diagnosable disease, or if it is just regular everyday counseling. Even when I went to go seek counseling, I was afraid of the stigma that I would receive, even though it was necessary for me to kind of work through some things. And that kind of prevented me from seeking it as quickly as I could have. And according to the viewpoint of the Bible, that is all wrong. God specifically gave us the Holy Spirit, which is known as the advocate. It is the comforter. And this is the job of the counselor, to come in as the advocate, as the comforter in these times of need. And there's so many different kinds of counseling that can step in so many different ways. There is lay counselors, and those are non-professionals who come alongside the church, and they kind of help the church members with those everyday issues. So when it is something more serious, such as suicide and depression, that would be handed off to a professional. And those professionals, some of them are just behavior counselors. They specifically look at behaviors and in correcting those. Whereas with marriage and family therapy, that is a professional therapist who seeks to heal the whole unity of marriage and the family. So looking at behaviors, looking at thoughts, looking at wrong beliefs. And that latter is actually the career that I am going to dive into a little bit more right now. Marriage and family therapy is an excellent choice for a career, not only in prospective job outlook, but also just in fulfilling the call of Christ. According to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the career outlook for a marriage and family therapist is growing twice as much as the average job. And also, God created Adam and Eve to be together, and as we see now, marriages are struggling, families are struggling. And so a counselor can come alongside to help heal those and keep those units together. So even though there are stigmas connected to counseling, it is the career that I would hope to fulfill God's purpose of redemption and having healing. And so it is with you. Since you are eager for the gifts of the Spirit, try to excel in those that build up the church. That's 1 Corinthians 14:12.